moving on with Rick for a little bit, we should talk about Mr. Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Yeah. What an incredible year that was. I mean, it took about a year to finish that record. The record was Unchained, and it was Johnny Cash's second to the last record.
Was this? Yeah, it was the second of the American series.
Second
Right?
American, yes. Second to the last record before he passed. He was a gentle old fellow. You just wanted to give him a hug. He was so kind. Big, tall guy. Always wore black. His guitar was black. And he would fret it. You know, it's just, he would apologize. He's like, yeah, I don't play guitar very well. I don't sing very well. And I'm just like, oh, you can't tell the guy, you know, anything. It's just, everything's okay, you know. And what a wonderful set of sessions that was. It was, a majority was recorded at Sound City in the big A room with the
Heartbreakers, right?
Right. It was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and several session drummers, different session drummers. But yeah, Tom Petty and Mike Campbell and Ben Montench.
Yeah.
And, you know, Howie. Wow. What a great lineup. And then there were other guest artists that would come in too. There was Mick Fleetwood and Lindsey Buckingham came in to record some. And that was at Ocean Way. That was when it was Ocean Way. Now it's East West.
Right.
In Studio 2, we did some sessions there.
Another fantastic old Neve.
Oh, yes, right. And yeah, Carl Perkins came in to do some parts. June Carter Cash came in and sang a duet with Johnny. And then I flew to Nashville to work with Johnny on vocals at the Cowboy Arms Hotel and Recording Spa. Yeah, and yeah, that was a great experience. I recorded it all to analog. We were still using analog tape, but I wanted to have a vintage sound. So I was using old compressors. I was using old broadcast stay level compressors, mostly the Gates stay level, and the old Neve and old German mics. And yeah, it has a vibe.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, all those records do, and they all have their own vibe. Because I worked on American 4 and some of the stuff that then hung around for 5. But they're all really different, which considering basically the conceit is the same on all of them. It's take other people's songs, put those words in Johnny's mouth to make them sound like much better songs, and then he'll do a few of his own. But they're all really, really different records in their own way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rick is a freaking genius for that too, because I say that Rick is a fan, right? He's a fan. Number one, he will choose the material. He'll choose the songs. He'll record way more songs and consider way more songs than are needed for any particular project for many reasons. One thing is, like, if you have, let's say on the Chili Peppers material, those albums that he did with the Chili Peppers, I think that they would collect 100 to 200 songs before they would choose the final 25 to record.
I mean, we had 50 with lead vocals for I'm With You.
Right. And see what you get there? You get the best distillation of a multitude of songs for one release, and then all these extra tracks to bring back later. I mean, this just makes, if you're able to do it, wow. So you're just going to get winning records time after time. And he did the same thing with Johnny, where he brought in songs by Beck and by Soundgarden. You know, it's very unusual material that was considered for this album. I think they had a Robert Palmer song, "Addicted to Love." I don't think it ever came out. Right? There's some great outtakes to that album too. I think I have one with Rick actually singing the lead just to show Johnny what was going on.
Well, I know because there were a couple sessions where like Johnny would have to go, And so Rick would just have a mic and he'd be laying on the couch, putting down a guide
Yeah,
vocal so the band could play. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
just
brilliant.
why not? And one of the sort of, it's almost heartbreaking every time I even think about it, is that Rick said he'd spent so many years just making lists of songs that for years after Johnny died, he would still just make lists of songs for him. Because that was
And
such a part of Rick's life.
it's a beautiful thing that Rick spends time and effort and money to revive someone's career who's really worthy of it. But how do you reintroduce a classic artist to a new, younger audience? That's the trick, and he was able to do that with several artists.
Yeah. And always by stripping them down to their essence, not by dressing them up in the new stuff, which is a different way of doing it. It's like, let's make something like the first 2 Sabbath records or the first 3 Metallica records, or, which you could go any way with that. But that's the thing, is like, why did people love you in the first place? And let's do some more of that.
Right.
So,
and Johnny's interpretations of these songs are so genuine and real. He has been one of the most the greatest American storytellers of all, I think.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, absolutely. And his ability to tell other people's stories is unparalleled. I've never heard covers that were that much better for the lyrics. Not necessarily for the songs themselves, but just to make the lyrics mean so much.
Yeah, right. And that's a big trick to get a client that you're working with, an artist, to make a song that they didn't write, their own song. You have to really immerse yourselves into the lyric to know to express this, to tell the story, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So you brought up the Chili Peppers.